Hey guys, how's it going? So this video we're going to be looking at the two pre-constructed decks, the Witches and the Knights archetype. We're going to start with the Knights. So the Knights focus on the white element, and they're basically big, bulky, heavy units. They're very heavy hitters. There's a lot of support between them, a lot of synergy. However, due to the, I suppose you could say, the weight of their armour, they do require a higher roll to hit. So we're going to be opening up. That tells you the Knight archetype solely focus on one thing: brute strength. Given their strong armour and powerful weapons, these units have a higher than average attack to health statistic, and a lot of the cards in this set can assist each other, such as giving them extra buffs for the battle. This deck also comes with some heavy defensive units, such as a few garrisons to help keep the enemy at bay. This will buy you enough time to save your charges for a heavy unit, which will be sure to dominate. This deck contains 30 cards. You can add or remove cards to tailor your playstyle. Because this deck's core is white, you can put only white cards into this deck. Minimum deck size 30, maximum 40. You will require a d6 die for battle outcomes. Thank you for supporting the creators. Okay, so 30 cards. I'm going to very quickly go and organise this deck. 1 second. Okay, so I've just quickly organised the deck so you can see exactly what you get into it a bit easier. So we get the Core of Honour. This is a core's ability. When any of your units kill an enemy unit 5 times. So as long as you've killed 5 enemy units once per game, you can use the activation, which will give any one of your units in play 2 attack or 2 health until the end of the turn. And then you've got 3 rares. You've got our Loyal Knight, which is a 5 cost 5/5 unit. If you have no defensive units in play, this unit gains 1 attack, 1 health, and only misses on a 1. So by default it misses on a 4 or higher. A 1 or a 2. But if you've got no defences, this unit becomes a bit more stable and only misses when you roll a 1. You've got a Reinforced rare unit, Tactical Lieutenant. The Reinforced unit gains 1 attack. Whenever the Reinforced unit kills an enemy unit via a counter attack, you get to draw 3 cards. It can also counter attack itself. And last rare is Entrusting Virago. It's a 4/6 unit, it's an assault. Whenever one of your other units rolls a 5 or 6 in battle, this unit gains a permanent 1 attack until it leaves play. So this can get quite beastie if the opponent doesn't deal with it early on. So, moving on to the commons, we have got 3 copies of Trainee Soldier, 2 copies of Foot Soldier, which is a standard 2/2 unit, 1 copy of Lightweight Ballista. This basically, if you target the enemy core, you only need to roll a 2 instead. If you target a unit, it needs to roll a 4. And then 2 copies of Roaming Knight. Onto the uncommons, Knight of Goodwill, 2 copies. Here's the action cards. The next unit you play this turn costs 2 less to play, so obviously you want to use that to get some of your powerful units out. You come with 3 of them. 2 copies of Warfront Expedite. It's a free cost card to play, so you don't need to pay anything. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put them back in any order, leaving the top card revealed. If it's a unit, you may reduce its play cost by 1 and play it if possible. That's a really good card. Battle action card, Electrified Strength, gives a unit an attack boost. 3 copies of that. This card, very powerful, Caltrops. If the opponent is going to attack you and it's going to deal you some massive damage, you can throw a Caltrops during the battle phase and cancel out the battle. Now we're moving on to our defensive units. You've got Field Gates, a standard common defensive unit with 5 health. You've got 2 copies of that. An uncommon defensive unit, which is Outland Watchtower, costs 3 for a 4. When this garrison is chosen as a defender during battle, roll a die before your opponent does. If even, draw a card. If odd, this garrison gains 1 health, making it 5. 2 copies of that. And finally 2 copies of Fort Calderon. It's quite expensive to play, but it's got 9 health. Your other defensive units each gain 1 health. If you have 3 garrison units in play, set each of their base health values to 10. 10 is the maximum you can go to, so you'll see here that this is a garrison unit. The other defensive units are also garrisons. So as long as you've got, in this deck in particular, as long as you've got one of these out and then maybe some of the cheaper defensive units, they all become 10, 10, 10, which will be a problem for your opponent. And it definitely meets the knight theme as well with the castles. So yeah, as previously mentioned, this card focuses on not only a high defense but a high offense as well, with the amount of assault units what you get in it. Obviously a lot of the assault units help each other out by buffing themselves, and you also come with a handful of useful attack buffs as well. Alright guys, that is the Knight's archetype. Let me know what you think. See you next time. Cheers.